Hi everyone, welcome to my bariatric journey. I'm Miranda, and this is episode 7, so it's our 7th upload. Today we're still focusing on snacks. Last time we made my wonderful salsa, and this is still the next day after the salsa. I figured I would attempt to make the chips to go with it today. So what I've done actually is I found a low-carb flatbread recipe, which I found at thesugarfreediva.com. I'll have the links below, just like always. And that flatbread recipe, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to make it like your homemade pita chips. So I'm going to make them to look like pita bread, and then I'm going to cut them into chip form and hopefully come up with like a low-carb pita chip. This is a little bit of a higher fat recipe, so I am going to use low-fat cheese. So I have this light mozzarella, pizza mozzarella type cheese. You could use any low-fat cheese you happen to find in your grocery store that you're happy with. It will really work with any cheese according to the recipe. I've never actually tried it before, but I do love pita chips. So, you know, that is a big plus for me. So I'm using the 2 cups of grated low-fat mozzarella cheese, 2 tablespoons of low-fat cream cheese, 2 eggs, and I am using again my almond grinds. So this recipe calls for almond flour, coconut flour, any carb-free flour, and I'm going with the ground coconut. You need half a cup. Or not coconut, sorry, ground almond, and you need half a cup. And again, before we get started, leave your comments below. What recipes do you want to see? What are your good, happy stories about your weight loss? I want to hear everything. And let's get started on the recipes. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grate up our mozzarella cheese. All right, we're back, and we have, as you can see, 2 cups of grated mozzarella here. Now, what we need next is 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. I have a 1/4 cup block of cream cheese here. Half of that 1/4 cup block is 2 tablespoons. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to put this in the microwave. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for 30 seconds to a minute. And try it on 30 first, then 15 and 15 until it's just melted. And then mix it all together. All right, I'm going to put it in the microwave now. All right, so now that the cheese is nicely melted, it took about a minute for me actually. I did 30 seconds and then another 30 seconds. And I have some nice melty cheese. I have mixed it all together so that cream cheese is well mixed into the mozzarella. So it won't harden too fast, but it's still going to harden pretty fast. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add our 2 eggs to a separate bowl without getting any shells in there. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, there we go. Just going to give those a really quick whisk with a wooden spoon. So I guess it's not really a whisk, really quick spooning. Oh well. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my almond flour. It calls for almond flour. I'm just using ground almond. And they are pretty much interchangeable in this recipe. Okay, I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that you should set your oven for 350 degrees and let it warm up, because we are going to bake these into rounds. So now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and add my creamy cheese in this. I'm only going to add half of it at first, because we're going to try and thin it out with the mixture in here. We're going to try and get them to, what do you call that when 2 things mix together? I know there's a word for it that cooks and bakers use all the time, and chefs. Well, yeah, you're trying to get them to incorporate. Thank you. That's not the word I was looking for. What do you call it when you whisk 2 things together like oil and water and they combine? Jeez, I know the word too. Somewhere in my mind it's there. Emulsify. Ha! That was the word I was looking for. Emulsify. Thank you, darling. My husband's the best. He remembers everything. All right, so we're trying to get the 2 to kind of emulsify together or mix together or coagulate or whatever you want them to do. So that they make kind of a dough, but a very, very sticky, cheesy looking dough. Right. I'm actually going to check the pictures on the website to see what it looks like when they did it. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so I have the actual website open here. I'll show you guys too. I'll look through the pictures. Oh, it always loads something in the bottom. I don't want that. It's so annoying. It's got pictures of fries and cookies. My goodness. Those are people asking questions. I've gone too far. Okay. So this is their picture. Yeah, it looks a little bit more incorporated than ours. Maybe I should be using a whisk. Let me get my magic whisk out here. Wonderful, magic whisk. And I will try to whisk it. See if that helps. Oh yeah. Immediately starts to look a little bit more like a dough. So this should make approximately 8 servings or 8 flatbreads. And I am going to make them into round flatbreads. That is my plan, so that I can cut them into triangles. That looks good. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like there. All right, so there it is. So now we're going to get our prepared baking sheets, and I've prepared them with, can't get that off, my goodness. One piece of cheese is just stuck in there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get my prepared baking sheets. I prepared them with parchment paper and put this into 8 rounds on the baking sheet. All right, so what I did here was I just sprayed a little bit of oil onto the pan itself, just your regular canola oil spray in a can. But I put the parchment paper over it, so that's just holding the parchment paper down. This is actually going to cook with no oil at all. So we're just going to blob it down, I guess. That's what the recipe says. I'm going to do 4 blobbies on each baking sheet. Maybe I'm making them a little bit big. I wonder if they're going to spread out. Okay, well, we shall see. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven. Recipe says they go in the oven for 15 to 17 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven and see how they come out. See you guys in 15 to 17 minutes. Okay, it's been about 18 minutes since we put these in the oven, so let's take them out and see how they look. Hot, hot, hot. It smells like cheese. That's all I can smell. Oh, seriously, just ooey gooey mozzarella-ness. So I'm going to let these cool for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to try cutting them into triangles, and we'll see how they look. All right. So these have cooled down enough to be able to hold them. They're still a little bit warm. But as you can see, I did 8, but yeah, some of them are much smaller than others. So I'm going to try and cut them into more equal pieces, just to be able to portion them out into 8 equal portions. So you can see one side is a nice light color, the other side's a little bit crispier, but that is okay because that's kind of what you want from a chip, right? You want it to be a little bit crispy. Okay, so these ones have been cut up. These ones are much bigger, so these are going to be cut into larger pieces. Like you would a pizza. Make some chip bits. This one's a bit of a weirder shape, but we'll see what we can do. Right, as you can see, I'm just cutting these with a regular pizza cutter, and that's just because I'm making them into chips. If you wanted to keep these as like a flatbread, to make like a flatbread pizza or something, I doubt you'd need very much cheese because literally all I smell is cheese. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're just going to try it by itself and see how it tastes. This is the first time I've ever made this recipe, so this is the first time I'm trying it. I'm assuming it's going to be delicious because it smells delicious. Oh, so cheesy. Mmm. Oh, yeah. That's so good. That just falls apart in your mouth. It's beautiful, melted, cheesy flavor. It's not very crispy. I think if, say I was eating these like the next day, I might pop them in toaster oven for like 5 minutes just to get them nice and crispy. And I'm going to try them with the salsa I made. I'll have a link to my salsa video below. Oops. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. Perfect for salsa. Again, not very crispy. Like I said, it might crisp up after they cooled down the next day or whatever for like 5 minutes. But other than that, they're absolutely delicious. They're so good. They taste like they'd even be good like cut in half with like sandwich meat and stuff stuck in the middle. Like, oh, I can just imagine them 100 different ways. They're so delicious. They're so cheesy. And that's it. They're just cheesy. There's no, you can't taste the almond. You can't taste the egg. It's just a nice cheesy flavor. It just makes them the perfect, base for something else because it's a nice, I use mozzarella anyway, so it's a nice bland cheese. All right, so I hope everyone enjoyed that. I know I did. Make sure to comment and check out my links below and comment, subscribe, all notifications, all those wonderful things. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great night. Bye.